in their grounds. Yet government pretends it's in charge. Yes, government is in charge. The men in government houses are losing authorities and legitimacies as the people take sides. This demands serious introspection before darkness overtakes the land. Hey, remember, Buhari ordered a forensic audit of the operations of the NDDC from 2001 to 2019. The president says the level of development in the Niger Delta is not commensurate with the huge resources made available to the commission, hence the audit. This led to the appointment of 2 interim management committees led by Joy Nonem and Kamebridukomo Ponde to oversee the audit. They were sacked after allegations and counter-allegations of corruption that brought them before the National Assembly. So let's go to the National Assembly. Akpabio versus NDDC committee. Remember? It's okay. It's okay, Mr. Minister.
Niger Delta Development Commission, because of the fact that we are doing forensic audit, the NDDC plays a vital role in ensuring the peace and security of the region. And 90% or more of the resources of the country on a monthly basis comes from there. If you close it down in totality, all you have will be chaos. And you have a lot of, not just militancy, but you have a lot of insurrection. So it is important that people who have gone to court, people who genuinely did jobs, should be paid for their jobs. So for me, I'm not against it because of course, who are even the greatest beneficiaries? It's 2 people now. Okay. Because if you look at your chairman,
Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, that's okay. That's okay.
No, can I ask you that question? What is the benefit that the National Assembly is benefiting from?
It's okay, it's okay.
Are you asking me the benefit of National Assembly?
Yes, you just said.
I just told you that we have record to show that most of the contracts in NDDC are given out to members of National Assembly, but you don't know about it.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. The two chairmen can explain to you. That is why I was a member. I was a member of the NDDC committee.
It's okay. It's okay.
Wait, you were a member of the NDDC and you were a member of the NDDC in the 8th Assembly, and are you telling me that lots of jobs were awarded to you as a member?
No, this is a problem. That's why I said you must.
You have the right to accuse people. Then why can't you bring up
can you please
people
listen
that?
to me? One of the chairmen
If
also.
you were not awarded a contract, then why are you coming here that you are aware that you were a member of the NDDC and lots of contracts were awarded to you? You said I'm not aware. I'm telling you that. Bring up those names.
May I inform my honorable sister that is why we have to change.
Honorable Minister, please. It's okay. That is okay. That is okay.
But let me explain.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Let me explain.
It's okay.
Now.
It's okay.
You must not allow the 2 chairmen
to
accept the budget every
It's
year.
okay. Up your mic. It's okay.
Up
your mic, Honorable Minister.
You are like me. I was a member like you. I did not know what was going on.
Honorable Minister.
Yes,
it's okay.
Yes, Chairman.
You guys sit down. Sit down. It's okay. Coco.
No, it's not okay. No, it can't be okay at this point. The NDDC is presently run by Effiong Akwa, appointed by Buhari in December 2020 as Acting Executive Director of Finance and Administration. The Niger Delta Development Commission is a federal government agency set up in August 2000 by the Olusegun Obasanjo administration to respond to the demands of neglected Niger Delta for equitable share of oil resource in their land. The Commission has the mandate to formulate policies for the development of the Niger Delta. The agency is also responsible for tackling ecological and environmental problems arising from the exploration of oil in the Delta. Has the Commission met its mandate? How can it, when it has become a cesspit of grand corruption? Is that not the reason Buhari called for forensic audit? Can anything good come out of the audit? Your guess might be good as mine. As we wait for the result of the audit, as we wait for Buhari and Akpabio, it's important to know when oil becomes blood. It is the story of the land. It's about a people in search of leadership. It's about a land turned into desolation, a land flowing with milk and honey. It's about business. Are you a businessman? Business is profit, right? Therefore, business invests profit into society for fruitful relationship and increased market share. Are you in business? To this dependency, the Federal Executive Council in May 2008 approves the development of a corporate social responsibility policy for Nigeria to spur business to show responsibility in the wake of aggressive privatization of government business. You remember? It was a time to launch the deregulation of market for competition. So aggressive. Aggressive times here. But note, business is to add value to society in the face of the volatility of market. The uncertainties of market are forces of want in conflict. Through the patronage of the state, they corner the state in aggressive privatization. However, through corporate social responsibility, business is compelled to give to society. Sadly, society is in deep luck. And the reluctance by multinationals to plow back adequate resources to host communities leads to conflict of luck. In the case of Ogoniland, oil turns to blood. It's the interrogation of the actors and observers of events culminating in the execution of Ogoni 9 by the Abacha government. Oh, is the reason Saro Wiwa is dead. Ken Saro Wiwa talks about genocide.
Britain, which has run as a monarchy for all these years, the Scots have their own ministerial system. They have ministers running Scottish affairs. You have a minister for Welsh affairs. And we are here wanting to deal with 253 ethnic groups, or slightly less. And we want to promote only 3 of them.
I accuse the ethnic majority who run Nigeria of practicing genocide against the Ogoni people. I accuse the oil companies which prospect for oil in Ogoni of encouraging genocide against the Ogoni people. I accuse Shell and Chevron of practicing racism against the Ogoni people, because they do in Ogoni what they do not do in other parts of the world where they prospect for oil. The devastation of the Ogoni countryside, the complete destruction of the Ogoni ecosystem, the dehumanization of the Ogoni people, the denial to them of education and other health facilities and other social amenities, all these together have led the Ogoni down the way of extinction. I accuse the Nigerian government and the international, multinational companies which prospect for oil in Ogoni of genocide. I appeal to the international community, to the British government, the American government, the Japanese government, the countries of the European community who buy oil from Nigeria to come now to the aid of the Ogoni people and stop this genocide.
Ken Saro Wiwa there. Remember, in 1956, oil is found in Nigeria in a joint operation of Royal Dutch Shell and British Petroleum. Production begins in 1958, and they are joined by other foreign oil companies in the 1960s after the country gained independence from Britain. Not long into exploration that the reluctance by multinationals to use profit to the development of host communities leads to conflict. Ijaw nationalist Isaac Adakaburu leads the first uprising. In the early years of Nigeria's independence, he is in the front of the campaign for minority rights in the Niger Delta. He forms the militia Niger Delta Volunteer Force, demanding a good share for community of the proceeds of oil. On the 23rd of February 1966, they declared the Niger Delta Republic. In a 12-day war with the federal government of Nigeria, the militia is defeated and its members arrested for treason. Aguiyi Ironsi and others led the battle to defeat the Niger Delta Republic. At the outbreak of the Nigerian Civil War in May 1967, Isaac Adakaburu and his comrades are pardoned and enlisted to fight the war on the Nigerian side. He is killed on the 9th of May 1968 near Okrika. Born on the 10th of September 1938 in Oloibiri, where oil is first discovered, Boro leaves University of Nigeria in Nsukka, where he is the student union president, to pursue his 12-day revolution. His revolt is the first armed uprising against independent Nigeria. As the struggle simmers, it blows up in the Ogoni struggle against government and oil companies. Non-violent opposition to oil companies by the Ogoni people in the early 90s is born out of the contamination of their land and lack of benefit from oil revenues. According to Ladamiti, remember him? He's a former president of the Movement for the Survival of Ogoni People. He says trouble starts when, as a child, they were attracted by the sight of vehicles and some white men in their school compound. Before long, Miti says loud explosions are heard on their football field. What happened? Shell starts its operation in 1958 in Mitty's village. He says he is aware that Shell does not enter into negotiations with villagers before commencing oil exploitative activities. Mitty opines that they usually secure mining leases from the federal authorities without reference to the local communities. Armed with these leases, they enter the land, bulldoze crops, and sacred places for which they pay ridiculous compensation determined by them. In October 1990, under the leadership of the environmentalist Saro Wiwa, the movement for the survival of the Ogoni people, MUSUP, presents the Ogoni Bill of Rights to the government of the Federation. What's in the bill? The bill hopes to gain political and economic autonomy for the Ogoni people, giving them control of the resources in their land and to protect the environment from harm. And the conflict becomes violent. In May 1994, young persons are grieved from the suspicion that some of their elders collaborate to shortchange the land. They descend on the palace of the paramount traditional ruler, Beremene of Gokana, killing 4 of the elders. Have you seen Ike Okunta's book entitled When Citizens Revolt? He says in the book, the angry crowd that gathered in Gyoku on the 20th of May was a child of this bloody repression. In Gokana, NICOP officials had reason to stop the meeting of the notables. Okunta continues, they feared that the moderates gathering on the eve of the delegates' election were hatching a plot to subvert the democratic will of the Gokana people. I'm reading from the book by Ike Okunta, When Citizens Revolt. Okunta says, but they certainly did not contemplate cold-blooded murder. They knew too well what the consequences would be, he says. According to him, government officials did not conduct investigations into the events of that afternoon before they declared Saro Wiwa and NICOP officials guilty of murder and arrested them the next morning. Hey, it's about the Niger Delta. It's about the state of the nation. It's about what people want to move to redemption. It's a search for leadership. It's the radio man on radio. It is Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. Hey, are you there? Can I hear your voice? Say hello to the radio station. The radio man is here. 080-915-51055. 080-569-98678. And 070-694-93000. Call the radio station. It's your station. It's your radio. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Obilo.
Yes, good morning.
How are you this morning?
Yes, I'm fine.
I'm Charles from Ghana Church.
All right, Charles, can you speak up? Give some energy to your voice.
Okay, can you hear me clearly now?
Beautiful.
Okay. I want to speak on the killings in the country. And we're not happy with the killings in the country. And I don't know the reason why our government, Nigerian government, don't want to seek foreign assistance. Now, you can see in Afghanistan what the American troops are doing there. You can see in Mali what the French troops are doing there. Why is it that our government, if the Nigerian armed forces cannot see the end to this banditry and terrorism and kidnapping in the country, why can they not seek for foreign assistance to combat this abnormality? Now, secondly, the National Assembly, I don't know what they are doing in the case of the president. By now, the president should have either resigned or be impeached by the National Assembly. Because the killing is too much.
All right.
We implore all the lawyers we have in the country to either take the National Assembly to the court or even look for a way the president can be removed.
All right.
Because he does not have the solution to the problem in the country.
Thank you, Charles. He has spoken. That's what he wants. Hello.
Edmund, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Morning, Edmund. My name is Dr. Mark.
Dr. Mark is here.
Yeah, good morning. I want to say something about the Ogoni issue and why I felt that region has remained what it is today. Everything still boils down to lack of law. This same issue of nepotism and tribalism. If we are still talking of Ogoni cleanup till now, they haven't done anything tangible there. We travel a lot. Nigerians travel a lot. The best place you can visit in the U.S. today is the Texas City. And the Texas City happens to be the oil city, the major oil producer in the U.S. When you go to the streets of Texas, you will know that this is a state. This is where oil is coming from. There is no form of development you will not see there. Nigerians go there regularly. Our politicians go there regularly. I don't know why it is difficult to transform Ogoniland. Shell is still operating there. They give them opportunity to operate there now. But where I'm going is that the first tangible, the first development they said they are bringing to that place is to construct what is called prison yard that will take as much as 20,000, 35,000 prisoners. As far as I'm concerned, that's not what the people need.
All right.
What they needed is good water supply. What they needed is good infrastructure, good health facility. If you go to primary school in Ogoniland, Edmund will shout.
All right.
I'm just advocating that for us to have these people resources being allowed to grow the entire nation, we should be giving very good attention. This 3%, 5%, we cannot help them. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, before the killing of the Ogoni elders, the Rivers State military government sets up the Internal Security Task Force to check the rising tension. To some, Saro Wiwa's nemesis is Major Paul Okuntimu, now a retired brigadier general. He heads the ruthless task force. It's Okuntimu's task force of the Abacha regime that went into Ogoniland to pick up Saro Wiwa and tame the anger of the land. Was the anger tamed? General Paul Okuntimu speaks with the radio man on the death of Ogoni 4. Now, who killed the 4 elders?
The 4 elders
yes.
was killed by the Nikos.
Were they sent by Ken?
They were recruited by Ken.
Were they recruited, or NICOP was an organization on its own?
Does it just germinate like seed?
Were they not sons of Ogoniland?
Even if they were, because of the class of their age, because of their formative stage, because of their inability to be able to reason like you and myself, because they lack intellectual engineering. You see, they are easily motivated. negatively.
What were the elders doing in the palace at that time?
They were called by Bidimini Gokana to celebrate the appointment of one of Ogoni's sons as commissioners. And they equally want to address some situation on the ground so as to end the feud that engulfed the entire Ogoniland. So they call all the elders.
So their intentions were misread.
By who?
By those who invaded the palace.
No, they only took advantage of coming together to hit on them. The purpose of the meeting is different from what they met on the ground. Even now, somebody like Bade will not attend. Somebody like Kubade will not attend because Kubade, Letton, Bade, Birabi, and so many of them, they know the role that Ken is playing, and they are never friends. They were never friends.
What was the role that Ken was playing?
He usurped the power of the leadership of Mossop and kick off all those that were before all those that were before him.
For the interest of the Ogoni people or for self-interest?
He has self-interest also.
But he was also fighting for the people.
If he was fighting for the people, then he wouldn't have done some few things that he did in intention. He has some selfish motives.
These were the crimes you accused Ken and his group of committing. You said, one, they deposed legal traditional rulers and installed new ones.
Mm-hmm.
That they refused to allow local government chairmen to carry out their jobs.
Exactly.
That they set up their own law enforcement and
Yes.
security agencies.
Exactly so.
That they set up their own judicial processes.
Exactly so.
That they invented the term vulture as a means of dealing with the enemy.
It's a code, yes.
They introduced cannibalism.
Exactly.
When you say cannibalism, how do you mean?
I don't want to go into that now.
Why not tell us?
No, cannibalism is a simple definition that anybody can go into dictionary and get out the meaning.
Okay, let me remind you of what you said in your Puta panel.
Yes.
You said on that fateful day,
Yeah.
I went around Gyoku village
Yeah.
for a rescue mission without success.
Mm-hmm.
The following day, May 2nd,
Yeah.
the search continued
Mm-hmm.
until reliable information took us to the spot where the Ogoni 4 were butchered and roasted for consumption. Butchered and roasted for
Yeah.
consumption.
Yes,
Is that the
continue.
cannibalism you're talking about?
No. Just continue. You have not finished.
It was me that picked the bits and pieces of the bone thrown away together,
Exactly.
which I brought to the government house
And
in
this-
a bag
Yes.
for the military
To
administrator's
see.
press briefing.
Exactly. That's true.
Then the cannibalism, are you sure they consumed the body of the 4 elders?
Well, what I saw was what I gathered together. What I gathered together was what I took into the bag. And what I took into the bag is what I took straight.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Paulo Kuntimu was there. Yes. Interrogating the subject, the motto. Looking at the pain of the people. The crisis reached maximum height when the federal government executes the Ogoni 9 for the death of their 4 kinsmen. Ken Saro Wiwa is executed by the government despite international appeals to stay action on the tribunal's verdict. Ledomiti tells a story here. You met Abacha before he became the head of state, right?
Yes, we did.
Can you tell us what happened?
Well, some of these are stories that I thought I should put in my memoirs, but clearly, because you've asked, I've had an occasion, I think, where Abacha flew myself and Ken specially to a meeting, in a plane from Port Harcourt to a meeting. That was when he was, I think, defense minister or so, and we had lunch together, where he wanted an insight into what he thought was the Ogoni problem. And we spoke with him. And we thought we were speaking to someone who now understood us and would be in a position to now advise the government in those circumstances. But as you know, the facts have now turned that maybe we were mistaken.
The first time you were arrested, was it obvious to you that the man was going to kill?
I do not think, I believe. And I can tell you also that even up to days to the execution, even Ken himself didn't believe that it was going to lead to death.
Did Ken offer Okuntimu $50,000 to save him?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I am one of those out who saw him. I saw him, I think, on the 7th or 8th before, and they were executed on the 10th. So, and at that time, they were still kept, or Ken was still kept in the military barracks where we were detained. And when I came up, because the judgment was on the 31st of October, and then when they said that I was not guilty and set free, I had left my stuff in that detail. Up till today, I've not gone back. I wanted to use that as excuse for me to be able to get there. And when I went there, I think on the 7th, and I told him, look, they said we had 30 days to appeal, and I was briefing him about what we were doing about the appeal. The appeals we filed, one on behalf of the wife, one on behalf of the father, the one we have written, and I was getting also some people to write other appeals. And he was like, hey, wait a minute, why are you worrying yourself about all this? I'm happy you are out because I know the struggle continues with you. Put your efforts in trying to remove us from this military detention to civil prisons for the purposes of so that we can at least get through to this. And I don't want to be under the crucible of the military that they can wake up today, you cannot even have access to food and all those sort of things. So I believe that up till that time, there was no thinking that it will lead to death.
So you were surprised when they were hanged on the 10th of November,
I must tell you,
1995.
devastatedly so.
Tell us about Ken. Who was Ken?
Ken, I think, is somebody who is so much full of humor that I think the Nigerian state did not understand him. He lived before his times. Almost all the things he predicted are coming together, are coming to there. He was a writer, as you know, and I think that because of that, when he dramatizes things, people take sometimes that it means a different thing. Most times, you don't read a writer.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
Yes, the killing of the Ogoni 9 escalates the agitation against Shell and the federal government. The struggle grounds Shell's operations in Ogoni and triggers militancy in the Niger Delta. The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. I am Edmund Obilo. I'll be back after this break. Don't go away.